Cool. So this is our 12th episode of gRPC series which we were doing. And what are we going to discuss today is we are going to take one simple example and we'll see that how to do that in C Sharp .NET Core and how to do the same sample in Node.js and how to do the same sample in Python and how to do the same sample in Golang. So there are multiple ways. I mean, it's multiple languages. It's the same thing. The concept is same. You will depend on the proto. So no matter you're working with C Sharp, no matter you're working with Node.js, Python, or Golang, the base is that the proto file is the base. Okay, so here is the one we'll be doing today. If you see that, so we'll first create that in C Sharp .NET Core, and then we'll try that, and then next we will create the same calculations like a simple mathematics addition of two numbers. We'll do that in Node.js, and then we do the same using Python, and then using the Golang. So there will be some of the places there will be a little bit different, but rest of the place it is all same. We have touched upon it a little bit on the Proto C with non-C Sharp in our 11th episode. In the 11th episode, we saw that how a Angular 10 application go and talk to the gRPC web. That we have seen that. So if we quickly go and check that piece here in this the 11th episode of this series, XMonkeys360. Inside the web application, the gRPC, the college gRPC web. So last week, this is what we saw. And we executed the Proto C in the package.json. If you go to the package.json, you will see this line, the Proto C line. Let's put it here. Just wanted to show you something. So again, we will be doing the same thing here. Okay, that's already there, I assume. Okay. So this is, I don't know whether in another operating system, because I always tried this in Windows. So it should be the relative path. Sorry, absolute path. It should be the absolute path. It's not the relative path. So always I have to give the full path of this. So technically what we are telling is we are telling to this Proto C, the compiler, to create those files which are needed for server and client to communicate. Okay, so what we are telling is we are telling that the plugin Proto C Gen TS, we are asking that it should generate the TypeScript files too, and then we are telling that the output directory for JS should be this, and the output directory for TS should be this, and here is the proto file. So we have to mention this one. And if you see this, the proto C -gen.ts. This is the additional thing which we install, and it gets installed as in the npm package, and that gets installed in the Node.js, and we have to give the path of this command, of that command. So that's the one which is key thing. I just kept it for Angular, so I think we can get going with this from the starting. I just each of the directory I will give the commands, except for the C Sharp. We don't need C Sharp. We don't need anything. C Sharp one, it will be very easy. But apart from C Sharp, I mean, because I'm telling very easy because we are doing this since long, since few years. I mean, since few months we are doing this one, so it will be easy. So let's start with that. So first let me go to the folder. Here is the one. So I'll create the folder. We'll create this folder real quick. Okay, this SRC folder that I just created it, and inside that let's have the readme file. Okay, it's here we don't need the readme file, but we need it at other places. So let's go and create hello world gRPC demo. Inside the source, I create a new project. I will create a bank solution. Okay. So let me take this guy outside here. Okay, so let me create two folders, one for server, one for client. Just to follow one convention so that, even if we do the Node.js or Python, we'll feel like, okay, we are following the same mechanism. Okay, cool. So let me create the same two folders here in our solution. Let me open the solution. Okay, cool. We have that. And let me add an existing item. Just read me. And I'll add two folders, one for server, one for client. Add the server and one will be the client. And we'll go and create a new gRPC project. Create a gRPC service. And the name I use same as this one. Calculation server. And this is the same template which we used to use.
Hello. Bye. Bye.
Okay, so it has created this calculation server, and we'll create a client also. We'll create a console application. Okay, so we have everything what we needed. So the first thing, we have this Protos file. So let's get this Protos guy in. Okay, so we call it as calculations proto. So right mouse click on this and add a new proto, new item. And we need protos. Okay, protocol buffer file, and I'm calling this as calculations. And now we'll speed up that. So it's already giving this information. So this two things are there. Syntax is there, and C# namespace, the calculations.server.protos. Okay, and that's the project name. And I'm copying this package. So that's the package name. Is calculations, and then we have the service. So we have only one service, unary service, that is add numbers and add request and add response. So add request, we are taking two values, value 1 and value 2, both are int 32, and add response is again int 32. So okay, so what we should do is we should go to this gRPC.io, and let's keep this handy so that we'll see that how to do in other languages. So next we will try in Node. So we'll keep this documentation ready, right? So this is all we need. Okay. Now coming back to this C#. Okay. Okay. So what we will do is again we'll come back here. The protos are ready. And there's also, we have seen it. We'll add the gRPC here to this guy. So I just want both the things to be generated at the same time. Let's wait for a moment. It's bringing in those nuggets. Okay, cool. So I think we have everything. What do we need it to get going? So I'll minimize this, and we'll start with the coding. So let me get into this services, and I'm creating calculation SVC. So right mouse click on this and add a new class, and the new class we are telling that calculations SVC, and inside this calculations SVC we have to implement this. We have to implement this base class. So okay, so the first thing is it is unable to find this red squiggly. So where is that? Okay, so again the same mistake I do a lot of times. I need to go and add it. Calculations. We'll come and add this calculations here. Now come back and do a squiggly. Let's build it so that it takes time to. So
చెప్పినా కదా నేనే నీకు ఇప్పుడు అదే రాస్తున్నా నేను
yeah. So we'll check this. We'll check this and debug. Here we have this calculations gRPC. Okay, so now let's do a dot, and we use this. And let me remove the unused, and these should come from this server protos. Okay, and this is coming from the gRPC core, and the next thing is I need to static system dot console. Okay, so all the squigglies are gone. Okay, so now let's see that it's a very simple one, because we did very complex gRPCs, but when we compare with our previous sessions, this session is pretty simple. It's like back to fundamentals kind of thing. So it's just we created one proto, and that proto has got very small gRPC service, and the message is also very small, like 2 variables and 1 variable, and we have the ordinal position. It's all very simple, and we implemented this gRPC service here. We have implemented this gRPC service in C#. And then the next thing what we need to do is we need to come and hook it up here. So let me quickly go and update this to debug so that we can see some information. So these are all things we have learned. In our previous session. Okay. Okay. And this also one of the place we need to come and change. So mostly I generally forget this. Calculation service, right? So I think pretty much that's it. So let's see. Is it showing? Okay, we see that say hello, it is coming from greeter, and similarly add number, it is coming from the calculation service. So that means we are up and running on this part without any issue. So let me close all the tabs. And here also we have seen. Now we'll create a helper class instead of we hard coding things. And in client, let's do a helper class real quick. So let's do this helper class here. So this should be the helper class. So again, the same concept. Again, the concept is same. We create an instance, and there's a method. And if that instance is null, we are initializing this. And for this, we need an app settings file, which I will get it in a moment. And one NuGet package. Let me get this app settings file over here. Inside this C#, I will drop this and let's go grab the NuGet package. This guy, we need it. Right. And we have created this helper class. And here we have this main program. We'll come back here. And we have seen this. We just create this configuration. I configuration. That's coming from Microsoft extensions. And then the main method where we are reading the configuration and we are executing the program. So if you see that what we are doing, we need task and we need IO, and add request is coming from the Protos. Let me remove unused so that we'll have a clarity what is used using so if you see this, everything is gone, all the squigglies are gone. So I think we are pretty much ready now. Just for the sake, let's keep a debugger where we are sending the response. I'll put a debugger here. I'll execute this. And here also I'll put a debugger over here. And let me start a new instance. Okay, that's because I didn't set it as a content. Its properties, it should be set as a content. Let me save that. Execute the server. Cool. Now let's execute the client. Here we come. So we have the client. Just do a mouse over on that, and you see this client. I do an F10. The moment I do an F10, it goes to the server, the calculation SVC, and here we are returning the value. And again, we'll come back here, and it gives us a sum. Sum is 30. Okay. So this is the same thing which we were doing since past 11 sessions, but not this simple. I mean, even the first episode also we did a big thing. I mean, storing some records inside the SQL Server. 1 minute. So we never did this kind of simple thing. So why we can ask, why are we doing this simple now after 11 episodes? It's because when we want to learn doing in C#, we did it simple and a little bit more. But now we want to try the same in different languages, non.NET languages. So that's the reason. If we take a simple example, it will be easy when we try to do the same thing in multiple languages. We can correlate each and everything. Okay, this is what it is. This is what it is. Okay. So now what we will do is we'll see this one, 2 command lines. I'll open it so that we can try these two. This is for the gRPC server. I will reduce the size a little bit so that we'll get some extra space. I'll reduce this size also. Okay, cool. So let me quickly go and grab the path. Where is this? It's here. Okay. Do a .NET run. Let's wait on this to display. In the meanwhile, we'll go and log in here. Oh no, this should be client. We should be logging in. So .NET run. So from the console, you can see that okay, we are sending the request and it received the response and it started the gRPC service and it's returning the values, add numbers received with so and so values and sending the response back. So we have seen this in C#. Okay. So I'll stop this and we can proceed with next one. Okay, so let me come in here. Perfect. So we have everything ready. Now let's spend 1 minute time over here to create this gRPC in Node.js. So what do we know? What do we need it? Okay. First thing is we need this packages, some of the packages we needed, which I have noted down. And okay, that should be fine. I mean, let's see the documentation which I picked it from some other site. I don't remember at this point of time from where did I picked it up. But anyways, we can come in here. I'll minimize this. And this Node.js, let's go here. And let's pick up this README. And so we need this Google port buff, npm install Google port buff, npm install gRPC, npm install gRPC tools, and npm install protogen C. So we need these packages. Okay, let's see that we might get this documentation. Okay. Okay. Okay, this is not. Okay. So let's do that. I mean, I didn't save this documentation from where I read this, but let's start with this. Okay, so let's create one folder. and inside that, let's create this SRC, and inside that SRC we'll create two folders, one for server and one for let's see how is this Protos. Let's use lowercase. One for Protos and one for client. Okay, and then go back and let's do an initialize. Okay. npm init, and let that be its name 1.0.1, description simple. Okay, so now if you come back, you'll see this package JSON is also there, and we'll just create this read-only file here. Markdown file, so that it will be very easy for you guys to go ahead and grab this anytime. You need that, you know that what steps we have to execute it. Okay, now let's come back here, and inside this Protos, I will create another folder called generated, because that's where I want to generate these files. If you see this here, generated, because I want all those generated files to be inside this. So let's grab this Protos, because I didn't want to refer this Protos from other place, because of a couple of reasons. One of the reason is each of this has got its own way, because see this, we don't need this C# namespace here when we are doing this Node.js one. So at Python, it needs something different, and Go, it needs different. Now, if you see this, it is pretty simple. It's just syntax, the package, the service, and couple of messages. So it doesn't need it here. So, and for multiple reasons, we are working on a different language. I just wanted to separate it. Okay. We have that. Okay. Once that is done, what we will do is we'll come and we will execute this npms. We'll install that, and we'll install gRPC. And you can see this, the package.json getting updated. Just wanted to ensure that those are the packages which we are defining. Yes. And this gRPC tools. Okay. And this gRPC Proto-C gen. Why are we taking this pain? Because in Visual Studio 2019, we have these tools. So the moment you drop this Proto and mention it in the CS proj, it knows that what it has to do, whether it has to create the server components, whether it has to create the client components, or whether it has to create both the server and client components, which we have seen in our previous sessions. But here this the tooling is we have to execute this command to build those packages. Okay, that we will see that how to create it in a moment. We'll see that. Let it finish. Okay, cool. So it has given us the control. Now our relative, our absolute path. So after installing that packages, first thing is we need to install these packages. Then we need to generate this files. That means it has to generate the service, the client, and the messages. So we had this in C#. We exclusively we told that create the server or create the client or create both server and client components, and messages it automatically creates. And here where you have to execute this command so that it creates one file with gRPC suffix. That means that file is the server as well as the client. It has got both the components built into that. And there will be one file for the message. So first we will see that. Let's come back here. I mean, this is the command which I executed. So I will copy this and paste it here as the original command. I call it as an original command. And now we'll change according to our absolute path. Now, right. So now this absolute path is from here all the way till source. I'll copy this, paste it here, and change this to forward slash. We are telling that where is the proto file, and we are telling that where it should go and generate the JS output. And we are telling that where it should go and create this gRPC. And we are telling that the plugin, what plugin it is. We're saying that proto-C gen gRPC. And where is that? It will be inside the node module. We'll see that in a moment. Before that, let's come back here and let's type this proto-C. So that's the executable which I have downloaded, which we have seen in the previous session. So if you see this I, the capital I, so that says that specifies the directory in which to search for imports. Okay, and that's one thing which we have seen. And here we have seen this JS out also. So generates the JavaScript source. And if you see this, the proto-C, this compiler, if you have this compiler, you can generate the files for C++, C#, Java, JavaScript, Object-C, PHP, Python, and Ruby. Now, you don't see that Go language here. That means Go language compiler has been built with ground up using Go. Okay, so that's the command. So let's see this. Let's execute, cross the fingers. Now you see that we don't have anything in this generated here. Okay, before that we need to see this tool. Node modules. Inside the bin and gRPC tool node proto-C plugin. This one. So it's telling that where should it go and find the gRPC tools. So similarly, we have seen this in C#. gRPC tools is the guy who does this. So here also we are taking the help of the gRPC tools itself, but instead of the ID taking care, we are executing the command. That's the only difference. Okay, so let me come back here. Copy this guy. Or it says could not find. Oh, there are double this one near port protos. Yep, here. I pasted it twice. Okay. What? Ah, again here. This should be from the node modules. Okay, it's going all the way till node module source protos, and is going hello world node.js source protos. Okay, I have pasted the wrong path. Okay, and here also I did the same. Okay, let me put this inside the notepad so that we'll not waste time. And remove that format. Word wrap. Just wanted to check that these folders exist. Okay, good. It's coming in there. That's the first one. We tried it. This also exists. This also exists. This path exists, and the final path. Perfect. So all the path, it exists. So we verified it. We don't need this guy. Let's keep it. I mean, we might need it in future. Let's get this command. Okay, now see this, the moment I executed, you can see these two files getting generated. I'll delete this again. Executed, concentrate over it. See this, the moment it executes, it creates. Now let's probe here a little bit for a moment, just to understand that we know that it's the same concept. And see, one is with gRPC, one without gRPC. Now gRPC, we should understand that it's for client and server. So if you come and see this, you have this calculation service, and that's for the this guy. Okay, and one with this PB underscore PB, and that's doing the messages. Like if you see this protos.calculation, that add request. And one more small thing to observe here is, you see this all they're doing this binary readers, they're getting the bytes and all these things. You can see that. Let's dig deeper. I want to show something. See this. There in C#, we were accessing the properties using value 1. But here in Node.js, instead we need to call these methods. Get value 1, set value 1. Whereas you can see here in C#, we do this. We can directly access this value 1 and value 2. But here in Node.js, it creates this get value, get property, set property. Okay, see this get and set for value 2. And similarly, if you come to the response and you scroll down, you will see that we have this get sum and set sum. Okay, that's the only thing I just want to show. I mean, rest of the things is pretty much same. We have to execute some piece of code. Let me copy that piece of code, because the key piece is when I was doing this sample, I did a lot of reading, but I found problem with generating the files. It took a lot of time for me to generate. So that's the key piece, because some of the places they said that it should be absolute path, but nowhere I saw that the command, what should be the command, how it generates. All the samples, if you go on web and see that, they add these generated protos and they check in the code and say that use it. But I thought that the key piece is how to generate it, because in C# we are not doing anything. The Visual Studio 2019 itself is building the tooling. Technically, the tooling itself is building it. Maybe in Visual Studio Code, when we drop this line inside the CS project, it was building. So in the entire exercise, the key piece is how to generate this protos. What tools you have to install. That's a key piece. Okay. So once that is done, I know we don't need to sweat anything. It's all like the same. Write a method, write a class, call a method, and all those things. Okay. So let's do that. JavaScript, and one is client. We'll generate this client. Okay, now let's copy paste the code and let's discuss that. Let's come back to calculation server. We'll come back and discuss this in a moment. This is a client code, and this is a server code. gRPC server. Okay, like if you can get this, how to create this. Simple thing is what we can do. Let's go to this gRPC and gRPC node. These are the packages which it is telling, but there are a couple of ways to execute this one. One thing is you create this using this protos and do that. And one more thing is you can directly load it. So you don't need to generate this. I mean, whatever the pain which we are taking to generate the generate the files, we don't need to take the pain. All we can do is directly use this gRPC loader, and it starts. It loads this proto file and it dynamically generates that. So we don't need to sweat at all. Let me see that inside this gRPC. Do I have any samples? I think there should be a lot of samples. Yes, a lot of samples are there. So can come back to this node. Here there are tons of samples. So the other thing that I told is one is static one. So if you see the static one, we have to execute this command. We have to execute this proto-C command to generate this gRPC, PB, and this. And in the server, we have to refer it. We have to refer that, the request and response message. But there is another mechanism where it's a dynamically generated code. And in that, you see this, the other package which we have seen, the loader package here, the gRPC loader package. We have to use this loader package, and then we have to tell the definition. Okay, so that what happens is it loads this proto file and it dynamically takes care of generating the files. So nowhere you see this files here. This is, nowhere you will see this file. Whereas if you go and check this static one, here you have to create. So whatever we are doing is a static one today. So this is the painful thing. So we are going through the painful process. Okay, once you get a hold, what is happening, what is the internals of that, then you can start working on dynamic code gen stuff. So here you don't depend on this statically generated files. Here we don't depend on statically generated files. Okay, just as. So see this, come to any file here. This is the best place where you want to go and search if you want to do anything. You see this, first thing what we do is we load those messages, and we need to get this package similar to our using statements, and whatever the method which is there inside the proto. So whatever the method which is there inside the proto, you need to write that method using the request and callback, and then we will create a message like hello response, and then we will set that value and we do the callback. And inside the main, we'll create the gRPC server. And then in the gRPC server, we have created the services here. So we go to that services.greeter service. That's a service we just named it in the proto. And then we call the say hello. That's this guy. Okay, you're giving it here. Okay. And then what we are doing is we are binding to one port. And then we are saying that open up the insecure. So it's all the communication happens on HTTP2 and SSL. So again, it will start asking the certificate, and we need to give the certificate, load the certificate, and the client should validate that, okay, the server certificate is valid. So it's all, we are not doing that much. So we are saying that, okay, open an insecure channel, which we will never do. We should never do this in production. That this is only like we are making our hands dirt, so that should be perfectly fine. Now if you come back here and check the greeter client, so the greeter client is, again, you will load these two messages and services and this gRPC. These are common for both client and server. And in the client, what we do is we'll create this services.greeter client, and we load this the FQDN, and then again the same insecure channel we are opening the credentials. And if you see this request, we'll create an object of this request type, and then this guy is accepting from the process.env the command line parameters. But as I was mentioning, we can't directly access the properties. Either we use get or set methods based on the scenario, whether we are assigning some value or retrieving some value. Then we do client.sayhello, and we'll pass in the request, and here is the callback. So as I was mentioning here, in the server side, gRPC, we have two things when we implement. We have this request and the callback. So that's a callback. So now let's come back to business. Okay. Now if you see this server, what we are doing, we're doing the same thing. Okay. So I organize this packages which is coming from the framework. I put it on the top, and the files which we do it, I put it with one line gap. That's personal choice, you know. And then we are having the method implemented. We are calling it as add numbers, and this guy is a request, and this guy is a callback. Okay. And caller dot request get value 1, caller dot request get value 2. So it shows that what are the values which we sent it. And then we are creating the object of add response, and then we are telling that add response set sum, this caller that value 1 and caller that value 2, we are adding it and assigning it to sum, and then sending the output back. So then we do a callback null and add response. Okay, that's the thing. And here is the server port. We have it, and here is the main, and we are saying that the gRPC server, same as the sample which we are seeing here, the gRPC server, and to that server we are adding this calculation service dot calculation service, and we are clicking on the add numbers, that is this implementation, and then gRPC server dot bind this port and insecure, and we are starting the server, and this is just a message. And similarly, if you come and see this, these three lines are common, and the server constant is also common. So here the same thing, we are creating the calculation service dot calculation service client, so that we are seeing it is coming from this generated file gRPC proto, and we are creating the object of this add request. Then we are doing set value 1, set value 2, and then we are saying that gRPC client dot add numbers, where we are passing the callback function, where we have error and response, and if it is error, we'll display that there's some error. If not, we'll display the message. We are invoking this main. I mean, I can do this classes and other things, but I just wanted to keep it pretty simple, basic. Okay, let's go here. Node server. So it's listening on this. Let's come back here. Okay. So we see this the moment you execute it. So invoking the add numbers gRPC server, it went here, it received this parameters and sending the output to client, and we received this output here. So that's same thing. Now if you can, we can come and compare this a small 1-minute comparison, not because we have seen this. But if you see this, it creates everything, like it's creating this client and it is creating this server. And coming back to here, we have seen this, but we'll spend 1 minute. So So here we call it as calculation service base, but whereas in Node.js we call it as calculation service dot service. Instead of base, this guy is adding service. Okay, and here and this calculation service is the name which we have given in the proto file, and see this calculation service client. So calculation service client. So the client name for some reason they kept it same, but the base class they are calling it as whatever the name which we specify there in Protos. They are adding service suffix, but this client is same. If you see between the C# and Node.js, this client is having the same name, same naming convention. And one thing in C# we are seeing that it is a little bit different, but net it's all the same, isn't it? So we know that how to create gRPC server and client, and I mean entire gRPC we are able to create. So that's the key thing in this entire exercise is this command. This command is a very important command. Now that we have played it, I just want to give some more tips there. Now, what if I don't specify this? Okay, so it says that you must specify proto-path. So that's what we have seen there when we executed this proto C at the top. Proto path, the path. So it's asking that path is must. So definitely we should give that path there. Okay. So that's one thing. And we have seen this. What is this plugin? And it exists in this node package. The key thing is you need to have these packages, 4 packages. And also we need that tool. If you come in here, under Lord Krishna, under tools, I've installed this Proto C over here. So I downloaded this Proto C because this is the key thing which was missing when I was reading. It might be my mistake, but I felt that that piece was missing. So where should we download that protocol C executable? What packages we should download? How should we execute Proto C so that it generates? So that's a piece which was missing. So see this, I downloaded it here. Okay, this is the latest package. So I downloaded one version previous. So see this for C#, Java, Python, C++, PHP. Okay, so your choice, you can grab this exclusively for C#, and I downloaded this guy. Okay, Proto C 13.0. I downloaded this. So that's a key piece. So I have this in my path. Okay. And the next thing is when you're creating for any specific language, that's the thing. What should be the command? You should execute the Proto C, and it depends upon what you are generating. So you need to give the JS out and gRPC out. And if you exclude this gRPC out, so what does it create? Let me delete these two. So now that things are working, we can play around to find out. So 2 pieces are very important. One is this JS out. One is the gRPC out. Now, if I don't give this gRPC out, I'm sorry, I'm having some irritation in my nose. So I didn't give that gRPC out. Now observe guys here in this generated. Okay, here. Let's remove this GS out. Now see this, it just created the message. So that with that, what did we understand? Now if you say JS out, it just creates you the message. It doesn't create the gRPC file. That's a key file. If that file is missing, then we can't do anything, you know. So now we understood all the moving pieces. So we understood what is I. Definitely we have to specify the I, if not command is not working. And when we specify JS out, it just creates the message. When we specify gRPC out, it creates the service and client. And what is this plugin? So it should understand, okay, what is that we are doing. So we went and we saw that inside this bin, inside this node module. So this is a plugin. So if you see this, if you are executing this in Unix or Linux, you have to give this gRPC tools node proto C plugin. This is the bash over here. Now you have the same code, whatever you have seen in this bash. For Windows folks, we have it here. Okay, it's setting this node, and then it's going to the gRPC tools. It should be here, bin and proto C plugin. It's executing that, and this is for the partial. You can do the same thing here. So it's going and it's executing this node exe, and it is giving this node.js file. So what is that gRPC tools? So if you see this guy. Here is the guy. So technically what you're doing is you're executing this gRPC, this JS file and giving this as a parameter to the node.js. So which it is going and executing something. So see this, it's going there and doing this extension and then executing this one, execute file. So something they're doing internally. Well, at least we were able to dig this much, little bit deeper, not much deep, but at least a little bit deeper to understand the internals of how to do all these things. Okay, let me close all these things. Okay, so now that we have seen these things in depth between C# and Node.js, and the key piece is you need to, we know that you can do it statically generate. You have to take the pain of load it, execute this proto-C command, generate the components, and then create your server, create a client, and execute it. And the other mechanism is the use a module loader to dynamically load this proto-C and work. And again, it's a personal choice. If you want, you can do dynamic loading, or you want to do static loading. That should be fine. Okay. Now that we are in a decent shape of doing, so what I'll do is I'll just copy this Python as well as the Go language and drop it here, because whatever the time which we spent on Node.js, we spent good enough time. We went dig deeper into that, and let's see that here. So for Python, so Python is a little bit easy. We have the same proto file, no difference in this proto file. And if you see this calculation server.py, there we said that calculation server.js, here it is py. So we are, before starting, we should do this pip installs. Okay. Now what is this pip? Okay. It's py package installer, Python's package installer. Okay. Let's spend a couple of minutes on that. We see this. What is this? gRPC IO. This guy. HTTP2 based RPC framework. Okay, so you can come and see that gRPC Python is available for Linux, Macs, and this one. That's the package. We have to execute this, and further you can do a deep dive into this documentation to find out more. And the other package which we install is this guy. Python tools. Similarly, we saw that gRPC tools, C#, we have seen gRPC tools for Node.js, and this is gRPC tools for Python. So these are the three things which we should do it. That's it. And command is pretty simple. We are executing this Python m and grpc tools dot proto c. And again, this is pretty common. I is a path, and Python out and gRPC Python out. This we have seen what happens if you miss this or if you miss that. So if you add this gRPC Python out, that means it is creating the PB file here, this PB file. And if you miss this gRPC Python out, that means you will miss this top one. Rest everything is pretty simple. The same thing, like you're executing this proto c tool, and this is Python m. Python m, run library module as a script. Okay, that's what we're telling. There's a module, we are loading this proto c, and we are passing the path, and we are saying that generate the messages, generate the service, and here is this generate the service. Here there's a gap because I'm executing this inside the protos folder. I'm not executing outside, I'm executing inside, so I'm not giving the full path because I can take pain of doing that one. So once we execute it, again it generates this gRPC service and this messages. Now here we have to observe one thing. The calculation service stub is one class, and you can see this calculation service R. I didn't understand why is this R, but I saw that maybe that's the naming convention they have given. Maybe there should be some thought process behind keeping it. That's one thing which I have noticed. And okay, and if I come to this, the protos, the message is one. I saw pretty much it's the same one. I have this add request and add response, and this calculation service is here. So pretty much the same, nothing else. And what is this underscore init? Because I want to load a module from a separate folder, not within the same. If you come and check the rest of the places, they placed everything inside one folder, all the server, client, and these generated files. So I have split into client, server, and protos So to load this files from here, I had to go do sys.path.insert. I'm adding this generated files. So if I say that calculations PB service and this one, so it goes and loads it from the folder here. So that's one tip. And rest is we have to create a server class, and this is equivalent to constructor. And this is the method definition which we have to add. And here we are able to access with the value like object.value, request dot value 1, request dot value 2, and result. I'm creating this object and return. What is this? Is the object name, or I've given when we are importing it here. I'm saying that import this entire module, the service where you have this service as well as stub as calculation service, and this as a messages. So it's just a naming convention. Some people say that service and PB. So service for this, PB for this. It's for me, it was confusing me. So I said that okay, calculation underscore service. Even though it is longer, I lose some energy typing the keystrokes, but I felt comfortable giving this names which are easily readable. If someone else coming and looking into this code, they should understand, okay, this is for this, and this line number 8 is for purely messages. So it's personal choice. It's not that you need to stick to this, but so here again, you will create the server, and you will add calculations service R to server. Where is this coming from? So this is coming from this gRPC, and you can see this here. So it's taking the service R. Service R is this object, and this is the server. That's the gRPC server. Okay. And then add insecure port, which we have seen that, and we are starting the same thing, same 4 lines which we did it in Node.js. It's nothing different. See this, we created the server, and add service, we are adding this service, and then we are binding, and we are starting. Plus or minus, the concept is same. If you see this, you're creating the server, you're saying that service dot add calculation service R to server. So you're passing in this parameter. If you see this, calculation server is this class, and you're passing the server which you created here in this gRPC server. It's an insecure port and this one. Okay. And if you see this client perspective, so again the same concept. These are some of the inputs, and we are creating this import. Again, the concept is I want to import from this files, and here we are implementing the client. So we are with is what it will take care of this object or this whatever the resources it creates. Okay, what is this Python with? So it will take care of resources. So with there's a code previously, it does the cleanup after this execution. Okay, so we creating this channel as channel, and then calculation services, calculation service stub. So this also we have seen 2 pieces. We have seen this calculation service R, and we have seen the stub over here. So we understand stub is for client. So let's go to this client. So we are creating that, passing this channel. Same thing we are doing in C# also. If you come in here, you're creating it's in helper. We're creating a gRPC channel and passing it to gRPC client. So we're doing the same thing here. So we have created this channel and passing it to the client. Here we are calling it as client, and in Python we are calling it as stub. and then stub.add numbers. It's the method which we have defined it in server, and we are passing in that request. Okay, so here in this constructor, I'm passing value 1 and value 2, which I've assigned it to self.value1, value 2, which I'm passing in here. So we are invoking this. So let's see this in action. What? Let me organize this so that we can see both the windows side by side. It's a little bit big. I will reduce it. Okay. Now to execute that, we need Python server. Oh, don't we have this? Oh, we need to extract this file inside this folder. Python, because it's the path, relative path. We said that dot dot, that means I should be present inside this folder. So when I do dot dot, it's like client, protos, server. I'm inside this server, and I execute dot dot means it comes to the parent and then protos. So that's how we are referring it here. So technically, either I should be existing myself inside the server folder or the client folder, because that's the notation we have given this relative path. Client. So see this, I'm sending in this values and it is going and hitting. I think we can try this one also. Okay, it's not working. So that's it. Cool. So the other thing is, okay, in each of these folders, I have given the README so that it will help you. I mean, I'm additionally checking in the generated files also, but please, I would recommend delete this and regenerate it, because then only you will learn the things harder way and you will remember for a longer time. I mean, if your plan is to use the dynamically generated one, you don't need to sweat, but it's a personal suggestion that if you would like to do that, do it. It's better. Okay, let's quickly see the Golang one. For everything, given this one. Now, what is this go get? Get. So package get implements the go get command. So what does it do? Get downloads the packages named by import path. So if you correlate all these four, you see that in C# we are saying that using, and in Node.js we are downloading these packages in the dependencies. We do npm I, and inside this server, we are using this require. You're loading those modules. And in Python, just now we have seen it. What we are doing, we are doing the pip install. Instead of npm install, you're doing pip install. And you're downloading those packages, whatever is required, and you're referring using that import statement over here. And similarly, if you come to this Golang, we will do a go get on this. It gets this protogen, protocgen, go gRPC, and Google Golang gRPC. These things we download it. And the key thing is here, because as I was mentioning, the protocgen. Let's see this. Ow. Oh, see this. Go generator. This Golang. I read this that it was built from ground up. This the Go language one was built from ground up. So I don't remember where did I read it, but I saw that they told it was built up from ground up. That's the reason if you see this when you execute this proto C. Yeah, here if you see this C#, C++, C#, Java, JS, Object-C, PHP, Python, Ruby, you don't see this Go here. And Python also, we didn't use this proto C, but we used Python to generate this. If you see the difference, so that means we are using the native one there. If you see that, we didn't use the proto C which we used it. Technically, if you see this proto C, we have used it only for that two places we have used it. One is today, and one is in 11th session where we used it on TypeScript and JavaScript. When Angular 10 application wants to talk to gRPC over the web channel, we used it. So technically, we have used this proto C on JavaScript and TypeScript one. But we didn't use it for anything else. Now, if you see that the Python, we have executed this. That means I read in some documentation that the Python and the Golang, they have been built up from scratch. So that's the reason we are using that. So we can correlate that with this Golang also. While generating, we are using this proto C, and we're giving the go out and the go ops path, the relative source relative, and goes gRPC. Similarly, you can see this JS out and JS gRPC. Similarly, we have seen this Python out, Python gRPC. Okay, and I'm executing it from here. You can see that here it's calculation service client, and here this guy is calling as a server. So we've seen that gRPC base in C#, gRPC service we have seen in Node, somewhere it was R was adding. Where is that? Oh, it's this one. Okay, in Python they added R. Yeah, Python they added that. So if you see this C#, it is base, and in Node.js it's the names suffix with service. In Python, the name suffix with service R, and in Golang these guys are calling it as simple server. This is the name which we have given in protofile. See this, the protofile we have given that calculation service. So it's just adding server to that. And here he's calling as a client. Okay. And again, this implementation is same. We do import, and we're importing this calculation B. Oh, here one thing to notice is, as in C#, we have to specify the Go language Go package. So in C# also we are doing this. If you come to the C#, here we are saying this option C# underscore namespace. We are giving it, but in Golang we need to specify the package here. Option Go underscore package. So this is the one, and rest everything is the specific. Now if you see this, the Golang and Node.js, they are using the getters and setters, and C# and Python, they are using the properties directly, and except that it's all the Golang flavor, which is very similar to C#. You have the properties and address of server. It's all the same C syntax. Okay, but the concept is same. Always it is same. Like you create the server, you register the server, where we add service. The naming convention is different, but the things are same. And we execute this. And if you see the client, the client was are also same. If you see this, we are importing these files, and we are calling this okay, here we are creating the connection. I mean, it's technically the gRPC dial, so address insecure with block. It's similar to creating the client. It's different language is having different format, and we are creating this service, and then we are invoking the add numbers. Here the port buff is this, the name. I mean, I should have given a good name, but I'm sorry, I gave like that. So we're passing this number 1 and number 2, which I have hard coded it here. I can accept it from args, but I just commented not to complex it. And add request, you're getting this one. One thing I faced problem is that I could not figure it out, which I was able to do it in Python, where I can go grab this modules which I have defined. So for that, I need to add the syspath, and it was able to go and grab this and load it here. But in this, I was unable to do that. So when I was working on it, it was showing. One second. Go env. If I, sorry, go env. So that's a problem. I did a hack kind of thing. Yep. So what is happening is it was not picking up these files. So technically, what did I do is, I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but this is what I was telling him. I did a hack. So see this calculations B. So that's the name which was given. So this is the first time I'm working in Golang. So I didn't know how to make this program run. But I understand that that's a package it is expecting. So I saw that, okay. So when I executed this command, without putting it here, uh, without putting it there, uh, so I'll show you what did I faced it. So let's recreate that problem now. Server, go run, and I executed this. What? It's running? Okay, see this. This is what I was telling. So I could not load this within the folder. So when I was executing it, I got this error. It says that it didn't find this package calculation PB either in go source or in go root or go path. So that's what I understand. Okay, it is expecting these files to be there. I don't know how I can push those files there, but I just opened that folder and created this folder with this package name and added these files, because that is what I'm seeing when I tried some other some other samples. See this, that guys, they're bringing in the entire source code and dropping it here. See this hello world of this, where you have this proto and you have this main server and you have this client. And one second. So that's what I saw, that when rest of this packages, when rest of the samples, when I execute, I see that those people are creating these folders inside this go path, right? Inside this go path, these guys are creating this. So I understood that that's how it is expecting. So I just pushed it there. Once I pushed it there, then things started working. So I don't know whether that's the right thing to do or not, but because as I was working on Python, this Golang and Python and Node.js for the first time on this gRPC, I have worked on this Node.js and Python to a decent extent, but on gRPC this is the first time. And Golang is entirely, that's my first program in my life. So so let's run that. Okay, so I do go run main.go. There's additional dialog, I'm getting it. I have given permission and then to go run. Okay, I'm passing in, it's working. So I've given the command for how to generate protos, because I mean, if you're using dynamic, you don't need any of these things. But in each of these folders, I've given you what packages you should install and what command you should execute. So where should you be? So see, please focus on this, guys. So in Golang, you should execute this command, staying in this protos. I mean, that's what I did it. So whatever worked for me, I'm just asking you guys to do the same. I mean, if you find something better option, go ahead. It's well and good. So in Python also, I stayed inside this protos folder and executed it. And these are the packages in pip installs we should do. And in Node.js, because we already worked on the Angular piece, so I was able to comfortably do it from this root. I was in this Node.js folder, root folder, and then from I executed. So whenever you guys are executing, the relative paths will change. I mean, the absolute paths will change. Please go and modify. So that's it, guys. So